All right, you guys. Let me get my camera on here. There we go. So we're just waiting for Zach here. So this is going to be part two. Um, so if you didn't see part one, go click off this and go to part one first so that you can hear the entirety of the interview. And here's Zach again.
Hey, we're
Uh,
back.
we're back. We're back. So let me turn this timer on. So go ahead, and you were talking about whispering, somebody
Oh,
whispering.
whisper in my ear. Okay. Really interesting. I've heard it 3 times in my life. First time I was living with my parents, I'd say maybe close to 20 years ago. And my brother had a room down the hall. And my parents are gone and I was passed out. And they like to say, like a lazy boy chair in my room. So I'm sitting there and on my left ear, I hear a woman's voice. You might want to wake up now. And I'm like, what? What's going on? At that point, my brother comes in, yells, "Hey, come here, check this out!" And something crazy was going on TV live at a live event, and it was weird. So it's like I don't know if it had anything to do with that, or she was something else was going to happen, but she'd woken me up. Another time after that was I was I had gone through a very depressed time of my life. I was really down. I was dark and just a horrible time. I don't even like thinking about it anymore. But I was at my parents' house and I went over to help my dad do some yard work, but I didn't do crap. I was sitting there watching him. He didn't bug me. He knew something was wrong, but he didn't ask me any questions. He was always like that. He let me go through what I needed to go through. So I'm sitting there watching him and I was literally thinking about ending my life. I mean, no joke, but I was thinking about how it's going to happen. And at that point, while I was staring at my dad raking, same lady, same side of the ear, came to my ear and says, you don't need to do this alone, right? And at that point, all the darkness was taken from my chest. It was completely gone. And I have, to this day, it was a miracle, complete miracle.
Wow. So
Um,
I'm something that came to my mind is when she said you may want to wake up now.
mhm.
Maybe she was speaking figuratively.
Yes,
You know that
yes,
word.
yes,
Maybe she was
absolutely.
speaking up like
Yeah,
snap out of your
spiritually.
unconsciousness. It's time to wake up.
It's wake up. Yeah, get out of that little hypnosis you're in. It's time to be awakened. Yeah, I
Hmm.
agree. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. Another time, the last time was I was late for work and I set my alarm on snooze and I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, a couple more minutes. And I'm lying there. And then I hear Zachary. And I was like, oh, awoken again. Same voice, same woman. And I was woken up just on time. Barely made it to work on time. But that was just, I thought that was kind of funny.
Do you have any idea who that may be?
It could be a spirit guide. It could be a relative. It could be, I even thought, is it my aunt that passed away when I was younger? And we were super tight, super close. But she was very close with my mom. Um, but in a way, I've thought of it through the years. She does kind of have the same voice. So I wouldn't be surprised.
That's
So
cool. That's really
yeah.
cool.
But little things like that have been happening my whole life. And again,
Even
going back,
even weird stuff has happened to you too. You can if you want to talk about that. But what were you gonna say? Sorry, I
I was
interrupted you.
actually going to go into that. I was like, I was told, I was so impressed, like I was so into like the stories Steven had to tell me back in the day. And I do believe I'd get a lot of his energy when I was working with him. So he'd say things would arrive at my house, things, I didn't even ask for them. And hanging out with him, things like that started happening to me. Plus, I was doing the work as well, but books would happen. There's 2 books that ended up in my car that I never got. Um, exactly the exact books I needed to read at the time. I had books sent to my house from, I don't know if it was like an Amazon thing, because I don't know if Amazon was really around much then, but I had 3 books sent to my house and it was all about this, all what I needed to learn next. Never paid for them, never asked for them, didn't even know they existed. And then I've had like little things like groceries were paid for. Going through fast food places, don't worry, we got it. I'm like, this is great. I love it. But I do thinking back then, I was such a high point and I'd done so much work on myself. My vibration was higher. I was loving myself. I was happy. I was just grateful for everything. And that's when things were happening. Just like one of my teachers back in the day would say, it's not, I'll be happy when, be happy and then it'll happen. So completely right. And that just proves itself.
When and when he says when what he means by be happy when, He's saying, like, people can say, well, I'll be happy when I get $1 million. I'll be happy when I get the love of my life. And
Yes.
no, be happy now so that that can
Yes.
come to you. The
Yes.
right thing can come to you. If you're not happy, one of my experiences Zach's very familiar with is it was when I first started learning how to manifest, and I really wanted a boyfriend. And so I started manifesting, but I was manifesting from first off, I didn't love myself yet. Secondly, I only focused on passion instead of the full spectrum of what a healthy relationship represents. I was only focusing on passion. So I ended up, you know, manifesting somebody, and it was passionate in the bedroom. Other than that, he was a complete weirdo, and he really tried to bring me down and my spirituality down. So, be aware that when you manifest, it's important to, because we're such powerful beings. Maybe you can express what I'm trying to say better, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just important to not, because our subconscious beliefs will play a part in stuff. So if we think we don't deserve a good partner, for example,
Mm-hmm.
then and we start manifesting a partner, then we're manifesting it from a place of need,
Mm-hmm.
approval, things like that. So you're going to bring in somebody who's going to reflect this part of your subconscious that you need to learn to release. And that's where self-love comes in and why it's so important.
Right.
Because we're very powerful with every thought we manifest. Of
Right.
course, if you have a bad thought, it's not like it's just going to go and happen. You have to constantly be thinking the same thought over and over and over again for it to like start to happen. But
Right.
luckily, could you imagine how crazy this world would be if we manifested every single thing we thought about
Yeah.
constantly?
Oh. Mm-mm.
It would be, we're just not ready for that.
Not
Some of
ready at
us
all.
are, but most of us just aren't,
Yeah,
so
I mean, sure, if you're pure of heart, great, but come on, not hardly anyone. They're out there, but I mean, I don't know all the pure hearts. Um, Going back to your relationship, you're absolutely right. I mean, if you just focus just on passion, but just not the whole story, you know, you're going to get that. And first of all, Amber's right. You got to go ahead and have that love because they are you pushed out and they're going to show you your insecurities and your downfalls and everything that they get to and build on you is already in you. So you need to get rid of those first. And then and once you love yourself, even your little insecurities and, my nose is too fat or all that, then those people will be very loving to you. And like they said, let them have it your way. They'll come to you at that point and they'll just and they won't even know why. There's just something about you. But once you
I've
love
seen
yourself,
Zach manifest plenty of beautiful, beautiful women in his life. And he has a beautiful woman now. They've been together for a long time. So this was before their relationship. Um, but I just remember him saying, I'm going to focus on like just feeling sexy as hell. And I'm going to focus on just being confident and just the shit, and all this, just all these beautiful women are just flocking toward him. I saw it,
it does
So
work. It does work. And
yeah.
it's weird. It's just that they go off how I feel, how I see myself, and they just come to you. And well, like I said, I believe what was it, Lester said that? He says, let the people have it your way. So they'll come to you on how you are, who you are in the inside. And it doesn't matter who you thought you were before, your past experiences, your whole horrible relationships, that it can be completely changed just how you feel about yourself. And yes, no, yeah, a lot of my girlfriends, I just attracted, just, I feel sexy. Whatever, it's all right. If it doesn't happen, I'm just going to get another beautiful girlfriend. I mean, because
Right.
I'm a great person. I'm sexy. I feel confident. I feel manly, just stuff like that.
I'm attractive.
I'm
Women
attracted.
love me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, if you don't believe that, then just, or,
Mhm.
even if, okay, in other words, if you don't attract somebody right away or it takes time, just be happy that you feel like that, Like it's
Yeah.
like,
Be grateful
okay,
for the
that's
feeling.
just an extra perk is if somebody comes into your life,
Yeah.
but at least you feel sexy and attractive and confident,
Yeah.
that's great.
And you're absolutely right. And of course, it's not an egotistical, I'm sexy, oh, she
No.
wants me. Nothing like that. It's way different. It sounds very similar, but there's a huge difference. But again, when you don't have someone right away, or you don't feel, but you feel it inside, that's when gratitude comes in. Thank you so much for allowing me to feel this way. Thank
Yeah.
you for, I feel I don't need that. Thank you for having the people in my life that I do have, that are friends and do love me, and all that stuff. But you're riding on that feeling for a while. It will happen. Just be patient. But yeah, that's gratitude's huge on that.
How,
Huge.
and like you said, there's a huge difference between that two words, confidence, cockiness. Totally
Yes.
two different things, but they seem similar, right?
Yes.
From the
They
outside,
sound similar. Yeah.
but it's totally different.
Yeah, like if I try to go off the street and pull someone, explain, hey, this and this, oh, you're being cocky. Oh, you're full of yourself. Not at all.
Cockiness is just insecurity to me,
Hmm.
trying to
Absolutely.
overcompensate for what they're lacking instead of truly feeling it, because you don't have to be cocky when you know that you're a great person and you deserve to be loved and you love yourself, and
Hmm.
that comes from a genuine place, and the vibration that you put off is completely different than cockiness.
Absolutely. That's a great way to, the way you worded it was perfect. And like I said, and once you do that, everyone's you pushed out. So they're going to be you out there. If there's something you don't like, then is it in you? You got to see that. If it is, either be grateful that you acknowledge it, and that'll start dissolving it. That's another way of saying love it. um, be grateful for what is going on right now, to kind of get your mind off that. Go, oh well, no, my mind's going down this road, I want to go back down this one. So you start being grateful. Give, like we talked about before, give approval. Um, but a lot of people don't relate to approval. It's very similar to gratitude. In my eyes, it's the same thing. But a lot of people are like, I don't know how to give myself approval. Be grateful for something. Be grateful that you still have your feet, your hands, your hair. You're still able to talk. You're able to walk. You have a girlfriend. Cool. Be grateful for the thoughts of her being in your life. If you don't have one yet, be grateful for the fact that you will have one in the future. Just, you can play with yourself so many ways, like on mentally how to do that.
Fake
So,
it
but it
till
does
you
work.
make it.
Yeah.
The more you, because like I never smiled ever when I was younger, up until my mid 20s, even late 20s.
Hmm.
And I never smiled really, unless I was drunk and partying.
All right.
But it, what was I going to say? Oh, I started faking it. Like every day I would wake up and I would just be like, you know, uh, but I just kept doing it until like it was natural. And then everybody'd start saying like, "Why are you always smiling?" I'm like, if I wasn't smiling, you'd ask me why I'm never smiling. So,
All right.
whatever.
I remember you used to make fun of me walking around the gym smiling all the
Uh-huh. Yeah, I just see these big white teeth like looking over at me, and he'd be like, "Yeah, hey, what's up to everybody?"
time.
And I'd be like, "Stop it. You're being too positive." I was one of
Right?
those back in the day. But
It's called
luckily he
growth.
had
But look at,
patience with me.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and look at you today.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
But
look
yeah,
at me
no, it's
now.
it's it's huge. I
So
mean,
we can end on that note. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, let's end it. Peace,
Just
guys.
kidding.
Um, but yeah, the feeling's everything, and I'm huge on that, and that's why another thing that caught my eye with Neville, um, which all my teachers are about feeling, but Neville really points it out. Feeling is a secret. You got to feel it. Feel it, and it does take time. Be patient, persistence. You'll get it, even if it's small. Just work on that. Just work on it. Just write it. You don't go ahead and plant an orange tree today and expect to eat oranges tomorrow. It takes time.
Right.
It really does.
And it takes more to, especially when you have like deep rooted beliefs.
Hmm.
It takes more than just sometimes for some people to than just saying like I'm just gonna eventually fake it till I make it, or I'm gonna start feeling the feeling, because if you have these subconscious beliefs still and you still keep feeling like you're trying to feel this feeling of confidence, but all this insecurity keeps coming up, that's when tapping comes in handy. That's when doing things like writing. Do you remember the lady? I used to always do her work. It's called The Work. So if you just look up
Okay. Some K.
Baron Katie.
Baron Katie. Byron
Thank
Katie.
you.
Byron
Byron
Katie.
Katie.
Yes.
Byron Katie is great. There's so many different teachers out there, but she's one of the ones who I found really worked for me. And it's very simple once you kind of get the technique down. It does take writing and stuff, but I feel like the more like writing is like it's magic, right? It
Mm-hmm.
really is. It gets
Mm-hmm.
things out. It's just another way of getting it out of you. And
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes like when you have these deep rooted beliefs that for example you're not worthy, then those kind of exercises come in handy to help you focus on the positivity. It's sometimes you got to get that icky stuff out to put the good stuff back in.
You're absolutely right. And that's a good point there because it goes on to my next step into when my spirituality, when I started learning, was I realized I was having these blocks and I didn't know what they were. And that's when I met like Lester students and they taught me how to release these blocks. And and many others have taught me as well, but that was my first. And once those blocks were removed, that's when things were just things started happening big time on that note. It's just like everything just started way smoother. I didn't know what I'm like, I don't feel it. This is just, I got a tightness right here. And then that's resistance, dude. And then what do I do? They're the one that explained what resistance was to me and how to get rid of it. So once you get rid of those resistance, you got nothing blocking you towards you and your goal. And it does work. Amber's correct. Writing, however you do it. I know there's many ways. A lot of people don't like the ways I do it. A lot of people don't like the way Amber does it. Keep doing it till you find your way. Tapping's wonderful. Ho'oponopono. People just love the stuff.
You can do
But
that while you're driving in your car.
yeah, absolutely. And just be, and I said, just be thankful for that. You're feeling that right now. Be thankful for your ego trying to protect you, because your ego just wants you to stay alive. And no matter what point you are in your life, this sucks. I got no money. I got that divorce. I lost my house. Your mind doesn't care. As long as you're alive, it's happy. Cool. You're alive. I'm going to leave you here. But once you get it used to, if it gets better and it goes, oh, okay, I'm still alive. So, and then I'll start going with that too. So it's weird how the mind works. It's genius.
It is genius. It like you said, it's
100%.
trying to protect us because we've gotten hurt by something and then we get triggered by something like say currently now, if something triggered me that happened to me 30 years ago,
Yep.
then that's just our brain remembering that. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's when tapping comes in handy because it literally reroutes the nervous system as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps to push out that energy. If you feel that tightness wherever you're feeling it, if you feel it in your chest, start tapping on the chest, all
Oh,
around the
yeah.
chest, and you'll feel it start to loosen up and dissipate. Same with your solar plexus.
Yep.
Even your throat, you can tap
Yeah.
right here on your throat.
My
Look
go-to's
it
right
up.
here.
Yeah,
This
you
is
can
my
tap from
go-to.
head to toe.
Yep.
So, but this one's a great one because a lot of us feel,
I love it there. Yeah, that's
yeah,
that's my spot.
yeah, it's
Just
a good
here,
place.
down through here, boom. In a couple minutes, it's dissolved.
Mm-hmm.
So much you feel that. And once you get that, you got it. You might
Yeah.
have to do it a few times, but after a while, it will not come back.
Right. And it's cool because once you start practicing all of these different techniques, it's going to take time. It took me a few years for it to become a natural thing for me. Before Zach would always have to remind me, did you do this? Did you do that? Oh, no. So he was very repetitive with his teachings, to where my mind finally started to grasp onto it. Plus everything, all the work I was doing on my own, it became natural, and instead of me having to remember to do something, it's just all of a sudden I remembered what the feeling is to release. I remember like, oh yeah, this is just tension. Okay, I'll breathe into it. I like my mind knows how to release it now without me having to do so much work. Eventually you don't have to do as much work, but there's
Yeah.
always going to be work, but
Yeah.
it's not
Oh.
is strenuous, or you don't have to do
Mhm.
it as much as in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does. Your body your mind will catch on and just start doing it on its own.
Yeah.
So, but always do it. Always do it, no matter what. A lot of people kick back. They go, "Oh, I don't need to do it anymore." No, always do it. It's a continuous job. Always, 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 always.
I wanted to quickly bring up the girl in the house that likes to push on the bed. So
Oh,
so Zach has had a couple
okay.
incubuses try to, and I know a lot of people have experienced that before, succubus or incubus.
Yeah.
I think the female is the incubus or the
No, she's
succubus.
the succubus, and then the guy is the incubus.
Okay, so succubus. So
That can happen.
maybe talk about how, because I know a lot of people are, it's not because he's spiritual that this has happened. I mean, people that aren't spiritual, this happens to as well. So
Mhm.
I think a lot of people are afraid of us or what we do because maybe they are religious or were religious, and there's a lot of fear mongering when it comes to people like us.
Mhm.
But it doesn't only happen to people like us. It happens to everyone. So kind of give your experience with that and like how you finally were able to get it to leave you alone or
Okay.
get off you or.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the first time was is I can't even tell how many years ago it was, but there's I was woken up because I heard laughing. I heard a little girl laughing, and I looked over the side of my bed, and she was pushing my bed. My bed was shaking like this, and her hair was just like that one girl from, like, was it The Ring or whatever movie
Yeah.
that was? And she's laughing, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? And I'm like between awake and asleep, and I finally wake up, and she disappears, but my bed's still moving. But the funny thing is my bed's flat on the ground, and it doesn't move. It's just completely flat on the ground, and there's no way it can wiggle without. It's like, what's going on? So I asked, was there an earthquake or anything? No, nothing, nothing. That was weird. The other time was when I was sleeping, and again on my bed, and all of a sudden she just got on me. I, that time I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna have to go ahead and just fight it with willpower. My dog couldn't hear me because I was like, you're just that, was it paralysis or whatever that is? I look at the side of my head, she's on my back, and she's like squeezing my ribs. At that point, I'm like, nope, got strength. I got rid of her. And then after that, I got one of those, um, what are those? A dream catcher? Actually, you got me that dream catcher.
Mm-hmm.
You got me a dream catcher. It didn't happen. Years later, this is the most recent. It just happened again recently. She got, I woke up, my dog sleeps on the side of my bed. I thought it was him breathing heavily, but he was on the other side of my bed. And it was like a big in this side of the ear. And she started like, I felt two arms go around and then two more on the bottom. So she had like four arms, and she started screaming slowly. And at first I started, okay, this is freaking me out. I'm going to panic. I calmed down, and I was like, I love you. I love you. Do what you got to do. I love you. You're fine. I love you. It's okay. And she just completely released and took off. So that
That's a
one,
really good point. It's like people tend to um, push things away through fear or anger, frustration, things like that. But when you say, I love you to an entity that's not in a loving space,
mm-hmm.
darkness cannot survive in the light.
Nope.
And some people would think, well, why would I love something that's trying to attack me?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what you do with people like that you don't like at work or people you're having a hard time with. Subconsciously send them love and things will lighten up a little bit.
Oh, and that totally works too. I've done that at work. I've done that to bosses, and their attitudes just change toward me. At the end, we're like best of friends. No, I'm leaving. I miss you. And they're just a pain in my butt when I first met them, picking on me, focusing on me. I start sending him love. I start acting like when they show up, instead of like, oh, gosh, here they are. I'll be like, oh, yeah, they're here. Awesome. Like, you're excited to see a friend. And after a while, that started changing, and they started changing. So that
Yeah.
works. That really
And
does
that
work.
takes
I love
discipline.
it.
And it's hard to do that. Our ego doesn't want to send love to people we don't like, but it works. So,
Right. And I guess like you and I both, because I see it in you and I see it in me, where you want to do something, we try to perfect it. We like have that pit bull grip on it, and we go for it. And sure, it sounds good to a lot of people, but they don't really have that determination. They don't want it really. It sounds great, and they love their life to change, but do they really? And you got to have that pit bull grip that you just won't let it go.
mhm.
And that's the way I was. That's what I saw in Amber. And but it works. It really does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm still learning. I'm not perfect. I always tell
Oh,
people,
me too.
I'm giving you advice and I take my own advice. I do the work, but I'm not perfect. I'm not all the way there. I haven't been in a relationship for a very long time. I would like to, but I don't trust relationships.
Hmm.
So I don't trust what I'll bring in to my life. So, I'll just be aware enough to know not to accept that right now because I'm not there, right? So
Hmm.
it's all about just kind of guiding with what you have to work with and acknowledging what you need to work on and
Yeah.
then doing it, and I know it's hard. Who has the time? Everyone has a little bit of time, if it's between you going and getting your haircut or doing a little bit of work, maybe you should do a little work on yourself. Maybe, or
Hmm.
maybe you should wake up a little earlier or stay up a
Yeah.
little later, do it on your lunch break, things like that. Because
Yeah.
you matter the most. How are you supposed to take care of yourself, your loved ones, and make everybody happy when you're not happy?
Yeah.
It's only going to drain you. So giving yourself a little bit of that time is going to give your spirit a little juice, and it's going to bring in people that are going to want to help you or you're going to vibe with,
Yeah.
that you're going to be able to have great relationships with, friendships, things like that.
Yeah.
Books, you'll get things coming to you that you're like, wow, that's so cool. I've been wanting this forever and it showed up.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so just even to start off, what the heck's 5 minutes? What's 10 minutes? It's start somewhere. And when you start getting going, this is one little pitfall people go into in my experience. Things almost always got bad before they got better.
Yes.
Because it's like the universe is like, okay, I'm gonna test you. Are you committed to this new state of being you're at? Let's test it, and then it will.
Yeah.
And keep going even through that bad part. Even if you don't feel as great and high inside as you did when you do it, it's still working. I promise you, it's still working. Keep
That
going through
reminds
it.
me of one of the time when we were going to the dog park, and I had just meditated for a long time, but it was in the beginning, so I was still bringing up a lot of icky emotions and stuff, but I was feeling really high vibed that day. And I was like, God, I feel so great, Zach. Yay. And he's like, cool, and we go to the dog park. And then I have like a whole mob of people yell at me because of my dog. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so
I
that
remember
was a
that.
test. And did I pass?
Total
No. I,
test.
I flipped them off and told them to fuck off. But, that's just how it goes. So don't give up on
I
yourself.
remember that. Hey,
Yeah,
it's how it goes, and that's
it
you're
is.
human. We're not saints.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It'll test you, and like I said, a lot of people will be like, "Dude, like I no, it's getting worse." And go, it almost in my experience, I can always just speak for myself. It'll almost always go a little bit worse than it is. Hey, I'm not seeing this promotion, dude. I'm not seeing this girl come into my life. Trust me, keep doing it. Doesn't mean it's not working. I don't
Well,
know how
there
to
was a
do it,
few
but you're
times
doing it.
that um I was feeling suicidal and I would call you, and this was a couple years after I started with my journey.
Hmm.
We have ebbs and flows. We're human beings.
Yep.
And when you're really doing the work and you're bringing up all of this pain and stuff, you're going to start feeling that pain. It's coming up and out.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's why it's good to have a good support
Yeah.
system, a good friend, even a therapist,
Mhm.
somebody that you can talk to. Hopefully somebody in the spiritual realm, if you're doing this kind of work, that can kind of guide you and kind of tell you this is normal, this is okay, you're going to be okay, this is totally normal. Just breathe, relax, don't do anything stupid, sleep and come back tomorrow, you're going to feel better, trust me.
Mhm.
It's a wild ride here. And
It it is.
yeah, but it's also once you start to realize that it's just a game that we're playing on ourselves, a lot of people don't understand that. I get a lot of sideway looks when I say that because people don't really understand it. Some people don't, some people do. Hopefully all of you do. But it's just about acceptance. Once we start accepting where we're at, it's like, okay, life sucks to some people.
Yeah.
But if you start to focus on the good things that make you happy and loving yourself, you're going to start seeing that it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
It's just your vibration. Maybe you're attracting people in your life or circumstances in your life that aren't the greatest, and that's
Mhm.
just affirming your belief. So once you start changing your belief about life and not looking at it as sucking all the time and looking at how beautiful it is and how it how great it is to when you start to find your soul and your higher self and you start to connect with source,
Yeah.
like how beautiful that is and how much work it took, but wow, I'm starting to feel it. It's like really empowering.
Yeah. You will always be tested, always be tested. And like you're saying, when you get those low points, it's cool. It's how it is. It's how it is now. It's not going to be like that way forever. It will
Yep.
pass. This too shall pass. But you got to be comfortable with self. You got to be take it easy on yourself. Give yourself a break.
Yeah.
Cool. You're not going to be positive all the time.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, you got to be positive all the time. Cool. But is it realistic? No. Am I positive all the time? No. But I like to make myself feel better than I am right now a little bit, just do what I can. If I can't, cool. I'm going to hang out with this thing.
Yeah. It's
It's
like,
not there to
okay,
hate me.
you're
It's there
feeling
to
crappy
protect me.
today.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And the thing that helps me, and it's okay to feel crappy. And I
Yeah.
said, the thing that helps me is knowing all in all, it's just my feelings and my mind trying to protect me.
Yeah.
It does love me. That's all he is, trying to love me, but I see it as a foe. No, he's trying to protect me. We're going out of our realm here, dude. So we need to back it up here. I know we're safe here because we lived here forever and I know you're alive. So, no, after a while, it will give into, you know what? It is cool. You're right. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll stay here. So it does get easier, but you'll always be challenged.
Yeah. And that's why practice makes perfect and just
Exactly.
be diligent, stick to it. So, Zach, we're going to wrap this up. I apologize. I don't know why Zoom, well, I do know why Zoom has changed the timing on here. They want money. And
Okay.
so they
Oh,
haven't gotten my money yet. So we have to keep it at 40 minutes here.
all right.
I want you, if anybody wants to maybe ask you a question or contact you, also go ahead and give your email or however you want them to contact you. And then also your YouTube channel.
No. If you have any questions you would like to get a hold of me, my email is Zach Florez, ZACHFLOREZ at ymail.com. Yes, it's an old email, but ymail.com. And I have a YouTube channel. Since I'm a big Bigfoot fan, I've had stories about Bigfoot sent to me, and I've told the stories on my YouTube channel. That is a Guardian of the Woods, and you should see a picture of me with my hat on. But there's a few stories up there right now. But if you have a chance, you're into Bigfoot, check it out.
Yeah, he's a Bigfoot fan. So maybe one day we'll
Huge.
bring him back on and talk about Bigfoot.
Yes, because I believe Bigfoot's spiritual. So
Yes, a lot of people do.
yes, very
Yeah,
much so.
a lot of people are starting to realize that.
Yeah, they are. But yeah, so it's awesome talking to you always.
It was great talking to you too, Zach. So, for everybody who wants to contact me, I do read tarot, but I also answer questions about spirituality as well. So, my email is amberdawntarot, AMBERDAWNTAROT at protonmail.com. Of course, this channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. Press the thumbs up. And I do have a tarot channel as well. It's Amber Dawn Tarot. Okay. So thank you everybody for joining us and much love and gratitude. We'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you, Zach.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.